Hello, wonderful Capricorns. I am so happy to be here with you today for your April 2021 readings. I'm Emma, and whilst I'm new to YouTube, I am not new to doing this at all. I've been working in this way a very long time. You can find out more about me on my website. I'll pop a link in the description box, but for right now, I'm here. I'm ready and I'm excited about your April. I'm going to talk to you about what I picked up when I was tuning into Capricorn energy prior to pressing record. And then I will pull 3 cards to layer the conversation and see if there are any other themes. Oh, excuse me. Any other themes that come up for you for April. And towards the end of this video, I will pull 1 card to focus on relationship themes too, because I know that's something we all want to talk about. So I'll have a look at that. But what I got for you for April, when I was sat and sort of soaking into that Capricorn energy, I got the message, this is your place in a new world. I feel like Capricorns went through quite a lot of transformation the last year. I know that everybody goes through elements of it, but it really does feel like your worlds changed quite dramatically in some ways. Now, it may be that the world in which you identified yourself, perhaps the world in which you revolved around, went through a sense of dissolving. Now, a really great example of this would be if you're very much somebody that is revolving around your relationships, and then COVID took your relationships away from you and you found yourself quite solitary, and you had to ask yourself, who am I when I'm not revolving around this? It could be that that was your job, you know, that the world took away your job, and you've had to ask yourself, who am I now that my life isn't revolving around this area that has been so meaningful to me for so many years? And it does feel like that. It feels like there was this center of your world that went through readjustment the last year and perhaps provoked some identity questioning. I know that also this will apply to people that have been through a lot of loss and a lot of grief, and perhaps your identity elements that were rooted in the person that you've lost, that loved one that you've had to say goodbye to. It's saying, well, who am I without this person? How do I move in the world now? And it does feel like everything kind of went up for questioning for you, Capricorn. Like, well, who am I without these things in my world that I usually gravitate around? And at first that was probably quite unsettling. For some time that may have been unsettling. However, there's a very tangible change happening through April, a very tangible change where you take your place inside the new world. And it feels very solid. It feels bold. There's this reclaiming of life, reclaiming of a sense of self, and reclaiming your place. And what I love about this is that it feels very natural and very easy, almost like arriving into this place in the new world. So, you know, it could be so many things. Each Capricorn is so individual, and I feel like you've all been through very individual journeys the last year about finding who you are in the world, or perhaps who you want to be in the world, and what that might mean for you. And I think there was a lot of foggy periods here, a lot of foggy periods of not feeling particularly passionate about something, not feeling the pull towards something, not having the enthusiasm here to perhaps even discover. And then you would have gone the other way, right? God, I really want to know what my place is, and then just not being able to grasp at it. But this could have also come through positive change. I think that's quite important. Our identities can go through questioning when something incredible happens. So if you've just gone into new relationship, if you're planning to move house, if you're changing jobs, if you're starting new projects, if these big things have happened in your life and they sort of crashed out your old world and introduced a new world, it is quite normal to feel uncertain about where your place is, because you identified yourself with the old world. And now you are gradually getting to know the person you've become and discerning your place in relation to these new events. So we do have massive themes of transformation. And when I tuned into you, I just feel like whatever has been is gone. That felt quite strong, like the old worlds have gone. There is no going back, there's no returning, there's no resurrecting, there's no need to worry that the old worlds are going to creep back on you and sort of be this weight upon your shoulders that maybe you might be squashed by the old worlds again. It feels in a strange way that you're going through some liberation through April. This liberation that the things connected with the old worlds are no longer going to weigh heavy on you, and that you are now free to take your place in a new world. And what I love about this is I think April is going to be inspiring some new ideas, some new wants, some new desires, some new opportunities. It's very gentle. I feel like we won't be bombarding you. It feels like we're going to be introducing one thing at a time in order for you to receive what is being offered and see how it makes you feel, so that you can choose to absorb it and incorporate it at your own rhythm. We're not trying to overwhelm you in April. We're not trying to throw a lot at you. So it will be sort of very significant, one thing at a time. One thing at a time, but it does feel quite powerful. It does feel quite big. I do feel like by the time you move through April and sort of finish towards the end, you will feel like you have found your place, that you have taken your place almost upon the throne of your own kingdom, that you're sort of, I guess you're going to be walking the walk a bit through April, walking the walk a bit, taking one step at a time out into this new world that you now find yourself in, and discovering what's there for you. Oh, I love this. It's almost like I'm seeing this as we've placed you in a new land. You know, you're a bit of a tourist right now, but this is your land, your world. And throughout April, you will be getting to know it. You'll be out there exploring it, talking to your people, and lapping it all up, letting it all sort of wash over you, absorbing it all, sort of saying, okay, I'm taking stock, I'm taking it all in, I'm getting to know this new world. And through the experience of the new world, you will sort of arrive in a place where you take your seat, where you take a seat upon, and I do see it like a throne. I do see you being like this king or queen of your own kingdom, and knowing that this is where you belong. And I feel like what's happening is, through this introduction of the new world, through the exploring of it, the tasting, the touching, the smelling, the receiving, it's all very tangible from this introduction to your world. This is your world, Capricorn. It's going to give you the confidence to then start creating. And I feel like you're very ready for creation. I feel like this needs to be your creation. You're choosing what you want here. So you might be creating projects. You might be creating new businesses. You might be creating new relationship. But it's like we're putting you out into your world so you can gather up all the knowledge of what's here, start to fall in love with it. I think that's important. I'm going to circle back to that. Start to fall in love with it, and then decide what you want to make of it. Now, I think that point about falling in love with the new world and sort of allowing April to allow you to fall back in love with it, to get to know it, to fall in love with it, is really important, because this might be certain areas of your life that you feel you didn't initially choose. It may be that life kind of happened. Perhaps things were taken from you, especially if you've had a grief or something of that nature, and you'd already chosen a world. You chose a career path, you chose a life with someone, you chose what you were happy with what you were doing, and then life stepped in, and those great unknowns, those great uncontrollables, those great mysteries came in and changed it. They changed it. Life changed it. And so now you're in this world that maybe isn't one you expected to be in. And yet you still belong here, Capricorn. It will still work for you, and it still has everything inside of it to blossom into that which you desire and that which you want. And I think allowing yourself to fall in love with something new when you've had to let go of something that you didn't necessarily want to let go of. I mean, it's a very tender, sensitive transition, but it is going to restore your faith that there is life after loss and that there is always more. There is more opportunity for connection. There is more opportunity for love. There is more opportunity for abundance. And there is more opportunity for you to feel that very deep connective sense of aliveness again. And it does feel like the world that you find yourself within is beckoning you back out. It's saying, please come and play with us, interact with us. Don't step out on us just yet. We've got more magic for you. And I love that. I feel like there is a lot of magic for you in April. I feel like there is a lot of invitation. And what I love about this is that there's no trying. You know that feeling when you're trying to be optimistic, you're trying to find things you're into, you're trying to find people interesting. And it just feels like you're forcing yourself to be jollier or to find something to get involved in. What I love about this is these are very natural feelings. You're just gonna have days where, and maybe weeks. I mean, I feel like this is giving you big chunks of time, not just like, oh, I had a great 20 minutes. We've got days, strings of weeks here where you just wake up and feel different. Good different. You wake up and feel vibrant. You wake up and feel hopeful. You wake up and feel trusting. You wake up and feel excited. You wake up and feel enthusiastic. You wake up and feel beautiful. You know, you are waking up to yourself, and it will remind you that although life can change and move things out of our sort of world, that which is inside of you is still there. You are waking up to these new worlds. And I think that you are going to have a lot of connectivity, a lot of fun, a lot of lightheartedness, a lot of playtime, and all the things that are going to contribute to you feeling better, feeling good, feeling great. And I just feel like by the end of April, you feel like a very different Capricorn, that you feel like you are now ready to go to the places that you want to go to. And these places might be unimaginable to you because you're just getting to know this world. You're just sort of exploring the kingdom. You may decide by the end of April to go places that you hadn't imagined at the beginning of April. I think that's quite of note, actually. Let's say at the beginning of April, your perception of what's available to you might not be as wide as it's going to be at the end of April. I think the places you will be choosing to go might be surprising to you. And I think the reason they're surprising is because you haven't imagined them yet. So April is a really big month for you, Capricorn, but it's a really good month because it's going to create that sense of aliveness and that sense of placement and belonging and enthusiasm for life. So I'm feeling really excited about that. You see, it feels like it's time. You know, it's time for Capricorn to take your place in the world. And we've been waiting for you, Capricorn. You might have had to be behind the scenes for a little while, but we are very ready to welcome you back in a bigger way, in whatever way that is meaningful to you. Do you know, if that's connecting with people, if that's having a social life sort of become fuller, if it's creating projects, if it's helping people, I just see you having more avenues available to you, the ones that you want, the ones that are very core to who you are as a person, and those sort of opening up and delivering. And it's a very, I guess it's a time of Capricorn receiving the goods of the kingdom, receiving the joys of the new world. And I think it's going to do the world the good. Do you know what? This is going to be healing through the best things in life, not healing through, you know, loneliness and tears and processing and analyzing and being sort of away from the world. It's this beautiful healing experience from feeling alive again. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to have a look now for 3 cards that follow on these themes and maybe introduce other themes. I've got my Rider Waite here. Oh, let's have a look. Okay, so I've got the Fool, great card to start with. I've got the Devil, and I've got the Six of Pentacles. Interesting set. I quite like it. I think what we've got here is we've got with the Fool everything I just said. You know, this introduction into your new world, taking steps into the new world, getting to know the new world, falling in love with the new world. This is not a place that you're familiar with. This is your new world. And it may not be an entire new world. It may just be that these new worlds are certain areas for you. Work, family, relationships, spirituality, creativity. You will know which new worlds you are walking into, okay? And the great thing is about this is you're going in not as a master, not knowing it all, but the fun is in the getting to know. The fun is in the finding out. The fun is in the discovery. And I think you are actually ready to go discover your world now and see what it has to offer you and who you are inside of it. And that's really supportive. The Fool is really just following on and confirming that conversation. And then we've got the Devil. Yeah. And I feel like the Devil is encouraging of passions through April. And I think that that can be a theme. Encouragement, an additional theme. Encouragement of pleasure. Encouragement of the things we would usually withhold from ourselves. The things we would usually withhold from ourselves that actually make us feel good, but we feel like we don't deserve them or we're not allowed to participate in them. And I feel like passion is leading the way here. And maybe it's going to create a more playful energy, a light-hearted energy, something that doesn't have to be, you know, like a 10-year plan. You know, it's about those first encounters and the buzz and the thrill and the not knowing. You know, with this Devil energy, anything we're getting involved in doesn't really have this sense of knowing to it. You know, like it's not got the depth of knowing and the depth of intimacy and the depth of spiritual connection. It's about discovery through sensory pleasure. I'm going intuitive here, by the way, and not traditional card meaning, because it's just, that's how I read. But I'm really feeling that the pathway to joy and feeling good again is going to be these introductions to having fun and keeping it light and keeping it easy. And actually, I think we need to take the serious edge off. Feels like things have been serious enough, and it's okay for us to go out there and just find out through the experience of it. You know, sometimes if we're trying too hard to make the right choice and the good choice and the long-term choice and the things that are going to benefit us in the long term, you know, we can miss out on having the pleasure of that which is temporary. And sometimes it's the temporary pleasures that unlock things inside of ourselves that really needed to be awakened and unlocked. Like, some of the greatest pleasures in life are temporary. Just think of things like sunsets. Sunsets are temporary. You can't rely on them. You can't predict them. You can't build the kingdom in them. They come and they go. But what they bring to us is a sense of aliveness that we really need. Now, I'm not suggesting that things that start in April don't have the potential to have long-term benefit and abundance. They might do, you know, that's very, very possible. But I believe going in with a more lighthearted stance is the way to enjoy them, so that you can, like I say, the fun is in the finding out. The fun is in the I don't know. The fun is in finding out through the living of it. And I think we've got here some very earthly pleasures for you. And it's those earthly pleasures that are going to reconnect you with your humanity and your world. Things that are stimulating to the senses. Good food, things, you know, beautiful flowers and things that smell nice, and, you know, people that smell nice and the things that are very tangible earthly pleasures. Now, of course, with the devil, we could say, don't get lost in this. This isn't planning to be escapism. We're not trying to escape the new world, right? So anything, if we're going to go devil, I mean, we can go along the lines of anything that is producing escapism is not the angle we're going on here. We're not trying to escape this world that you're in. We're not trying to step out of it. We're not trying to protect ourselves from it in the form of things like alcohol and drugs. We're not trying to escape through disconnected sexual pleasure. We're not trying to escape through, you know, any obsession and addiction. That's not what's happening here. We're trying to reconnect with our sensory experience in order to step into the new world as part and parcel of it. I think you can, again, liken this to being a tourist in a new land. Go try the food, go meet the people, go kiss the strangers, you know, like go have yourself a holiday romance with the new kingdom you find yourself in. And I say holiday romance, you know, like when you get to see the views and lay it on the beach and sort of just meet new people and try new things. I think allow it to be that feeling you would have when you think it's temporary. And the chances are the pleasure connected with that is actually going to blow it open for potential for long term anyway, because anything that feels great to you and feels good to you is speaking to your soul and speaking from your heart, and it does always have long term potential. But the lightheartedness of these fleeting pleasures is exactly what you're in need of this month, and there's a lot of it. But do know that we also have here our Six of Pentacles, and I do believe you will be offered that which is meaningful to you, connective and purposeful. I do think as we start to get you lightened up and in a good mood, all your clarity is going to begin to really flood. You know, you're going to really see clearly, sparkling clarity. You're going to feel more like you. You're going to feel that groundedness and that fullness. And from this place, you know, this movement of slowly feeling better. I'm not saying you have to feel great all day, every day, by the way. You're allowed your sort of wobbly moments. But as we introduce you back into the world, you reclaim that sense of aliveness. You're starting to feel more like you. You should also notice that the bigger things are starting to arrive too. Those things that you really want in your world that you've sort of been rolling over, the opportunities for them are going to begin to arrive. I think we are looking more mid-month towards the end of the month for that, because we kind of have this goal to get you feeling good again first, so that because that's the place you want to create life from, right? None of us want to really create life from the downer place, because we make weird decisions in that place and we choose weird things for ourselves. So our aim is to get Cappy feeling great, to get Cappy feeling awesome, because we know that you're going to choose really good stuff for yourself from that place, that you're going to see clearly, you're going to be honoring your wants, and we've kind of woken you up to your wants. You're feeling in a much fuller way, which means your desires and your pleasures are going to be very noticeable to you, and you're going to be able to cherry pick the offers and opportunities that are reflective of that fuller feeling. And I think that by the end of the month, like I say, you may be going towards very unimaginable locations. You know, like you may be going towards very unimaginable goals and dreams, but it all begins with this waking you up. So I love this. I love this. I think this is amazing. I'm going to just reiterate, April is your place in a new world. Taking your place in a new world. I will just touch on relationship theme now. Let's have a little look and see what we've got for themes of relationship in April. And we have the King of Swords. Do you know, I was not expecting that. I think that that's actually almost like a plot twist, and yet it lines up very, very well. Because what we have here is, I think because of the position that you find yourself in, internally, in reflection of that, we will be introducing to you those that are sincere and move with integrity. I think that's actually very reflective of Capricorns, and it feels as though with our King of Swords, what we will be doing is we won't be encouraging you towards people within relationship. You know, this is relationships, so with it towards people that you have to question where you stand. It is big enough to find yourself in the new world. And in a place like this, we will be introducing you to those good-hearted, honest, sincere people. It's good. I'm going to draw on it again. You know that idea of being a tourist in a new land, right? The last thing you want to meet are people that are going to bamboozle you and steal all your money. You know, like you kind of want to know that the life is going to introduce you to people that are kind and thoughtful and helpful and resourceful and clear and honest, and you know where you stand. And if they say to you, oh my god, there's this amazing view if you climb up those steps by the beach, you should go there, you want to say, yeah, I believe you, I'm going to do that. And I feel like we are introducing to you people you can believe in because they're honest, because they're sincere, and because that's what you need right now. You absolutely don't need people that are going to mess with your emotions. Like, you haven't got time for it. It's been a big enough few months. Who's got time for that? And so you're kind of attracting people into your world that will be direct, that you can have direct conversation, that you don't have to waste time figuring out, and that you can really enjoy. And I do believe that which we spoke about just now, about these pleasures, I do believe that's coming in here. Do you know, I do think even with our King of Swords here, I do believe that part of being sincere and part of being honest and part of being authentic and real is the ability to enjoy real things and real experiences. And I think that that's what we're getting here. This is the experience and the pleasure of a real human being, authentic. And I think there is this encouragement towards people that you don't have to guess, that you don't have to convince, that you don't have to explain, that you can just gravitate around those people that make your life easier because they are what they are, and there's no figuring it out, there's no guessing games. And I do believe that you will be introduced to these people. I believe it's one of those heart attraction things. I don't think you have to go and find them. And in all fairness, you can't really go find real people. There's no thing like, you can't drive around with one of those speakerphones going, hello, are you real? Can I see some certification? You know, a lot of people think they are real. A lot of people don't know that they're being insincere, right? I think what your soul's been calling out for are the real people that you can be yourself with. And in all fairness, you're in a new world. So this is likely to be lots of new energy, meeting lots of new people, meeting lots of new people that are your people, your kind of people. And I think whether you are in relationship and are just taking your relationship and your union to a much realer place, very open communication, meeting on the same level, meeting of minds, finding that understanding quite easily. It feels like there is this encouragement here that things are about to get real, which is what you want. This is about to get real, that you're going to see that leveling up. It may be that the person you're connecting with has also been on a journey these last few months, and there's been a level of emotional maturity come in. And now you're able to meet them on a different level, have these big conversations. But if you are a single and you're looking forward to new experiences, I really believe our King of Swords is saying, yes, I'm coming. I'm coming for real conversations. Here I come. Whether that's a man or a woman, you have got somebody on the way, and maybe many people on the way, that it's all real now. It's all real. It's not imaginary. It's not lucid. It's not flimsy. It's not these people that present in many different ways and you don't know where you're at. This is real, solid and stable and authentic and true. And I feel like you're at a base minimum, something's about to begin here that opens up wildly entertaining conversation for you. Something very stimulating, engaging and thrilling. And you're going to be really glad at the end of April and you stepped out into your world. Okay, Capricorns, well, I've enjoyed you very much. I would love to hear how your April's going and what you discover in your new worlds. Come and report back to me. What's out there? What did you find? What amazing new viewpoints do you find? Did you see any great sunsets? What people did you meet? What food did you try? Please come and tell me what is in your new world. What are you discovering? I'd love to hear about it. You are welcome to join me on Patreon. I've started a new community there. It's blossoming, and we're going to have a whole bunch of fun. I'm going to be doing daily readings, daily card readings, weekly videos, and hopefully a live conversation once a month as well, where we can really explore some things. So we're going to have a whole load of fun. Come and join us. I'll put the link in the description. You can also book in for one-to-one time with me on my website. I'll put the link on that. And I will be back again next month for your May reading. So wishing you an amazing April, full of fun and full of newness and full of discovery and pleasure. Pleasure. Welcome to your new world. You are ready to be out in it. I look forward to hearing how it all goes. I will see you again soon. Bye, Capricorn.